Hey makers, this is Dhruvin and I welcome you all to Power BI Dataflow Step by Step series. You are watching the second episode of this series, and in this session I am going to talk about how you can create and configure your first Power BI Dataflow. We will be talking about this thing with the help of real life example and SQL Server as data source. So for this particular data flow, we are also performing the gateway installation. One more important thing, I launched my own Instagram page where I am uploading different short tips and tricks related Power Platform. So if you wanted to be a part of my Instagram family, do follow me on Instagram. The Instagram ID is available here or maybe in the description box. So do check it out. Also, one more important thing, as you are watching the second episode of this series and if you wanted to move through my earlier or future episodes, then check the description box or the link for the entire playlist to move through the different episodes. Also, in future as well, if I am extending this series, I will post the latest link always in the description box. So check the description box always for the latest information. So without wasting much time, let's get started and talk about how you can configure your first Power BI data flow. Here I am on my machine and here I have opened my Power BI service account. The very first step that we need to do here as a part of this series is I recommend everyone to create and activate Premium Per User license. So for me, I already activated my Premium Per User trial license. Now I will create one Premium Per User workspace over here. To create the workspace, go here and click on Create a Workspace and just provide a workspace name as Dataflow YouTube Demo. And now I am just clicking on Save. So this will create one normal workspace for me. Now we need to make this workspace as a premium workspace. So click on the setting gear over here and just click on premium. Now there is an option Premium Per User and just select small data stage storage format at this moment and just click on save and just click on continue. So here you can see that Premium Per User's diamond icon is available over here. So now your workspace is Premium Per User Workspace. Now you can leverage the advanced data flow concept capability as well over here. Now let's get started and talk about how you can create your data flow. So to create the data flow, you need to click on New and click on the data flow option. Once you click on that, it will open up this type of user interface. There are 4 different options for data flow over here. The first is define new tables, means you can create a fresh data flow using this option. Second thing is that you can link table from other data flows. So as I mentioned you in my earlier sessions, that is one use case, that let's say you want to use any other data flows table, then how you can link those table, that is something you can do with this option. Third option is that you can make a backup of your data flow and import it from the JSON file using this import model. And the last option is that you can attach a common data model folder, which is something as a part of Azure Data Lake storage. So if you have any additional Azure Data Lake already available, you can build your data flow over there. So we will not going to talk more about this option throughout this entire series because it is something which I will cover in the advanced part of the series. But definitely this first 3 options we are going to cover over here. Now let me show you the database that I am going to use throughout this entire series and what we wanted to achieve as the end outcome. So here I have opened my SQL Server database and you can see I have one database called credit. In credit database, I have different tables. Now I want to load some table in my data flow and wanted to develop some report. But I want to develop my data flow in such a manner that it can be reusable into multiple reports into future. So let's say for an example, category table is something where I'm storing the different categories like this, right? So I wanted to have this master table into separate data flow. So let's say in future, if any additional thing is being added over here, I only need to make changes into that data flow. Or let's say if I'm making some calculations on my category, and let's say I'm updating something in PowerQuery, that can be done and managed over there itself, right? Apart from that, I wanted to add my member table as well as my provider table as well as my charge table. So I want to load overall 4 tables and build some report on top of that, right? Now as a strategy, I told you that I will create one data flow for category, because in future there is a possibility that I will perform some maintenance thing into my category table. Like at this moment I only have these 2 fields, but in future there is a possibility I will add some detailed description over there, and based on that I will provide some indexing on my category, and let's say it is to be sorted by some specific ascending or descending order. So that is something that all the ETL operation I need to perform over there, right? So let's get started and load our table or entity. One important thing, if I use the term entity, consider as table, because both are same. Entity was a earlier concept and now the concept is table, right? So do not confuse in between those two things, right? So let's get started and create our first data flow for our category table, right? So let's add the table. So I'm just clicking on add new tables. Now here you can see the similar kind of get data option is available for you. So you can select any of your data source. So I'm choosing SQL Server as a data source. So I'm selecting SQL Server database. And now over here, this is my on-premise SQL Server database. So obviously I need the gateway to be installed in my machine, right? So if you do not know how to install the gateway, follow me to this video. I am going to explain you. But if you already knew, you can skip few minutes from this video and directly reach to the next part where we will make this configuration. So to download and install the gateway, first of all, just go to the download pane from here and click on data gateway. This will redirecting you to this particular screen. From here there are 2 options to download the data gateway, either with standard mode or with personal mode. I recommend to go with download with standard mode. So I already downloaded that. So now let me just install that. So I'm just opening that and I'm just installing that. So the gateway installation pop-up will appear for you over here. Just accept your terms and conditions and click on install. So it has started the gateway installation process for you. So the gateway installation has been done. Now we need to provide our Power BI service email address. So let's provide the same email address and click on sign in. If you are using any cloud data sources, you do not need to install the gateway. But here I am explaining you with your on-premise data source, because SQL Server is something which is used by most of the people. So that's why I took this example, so you will get a better idea on that part. So we are almost done. Now what we need to do here is we need to register a new gateway. Click on next. Now just provide the gateway name. So I'm providing my gateway name is Dataflow YouTube. Provide the recovery key. You can enter any recovery key. You just need to remember that and note down into your notebook. Click on configure. And this gateway installation process I explained in my some earlier videos as well. I have the 3 video series for gateway installation. So if you wanted to check that in the description box, where I have also explained the difference between personal mode and standard mode as well. So you can check it out. And here we are. The gateway installation is successful and my gateway Dataflow YouTube is ready to use. Now let me just go to the service again. And now I need to do one more thing here. I need to duplicate this page and let me just go to the setting here and click on manage gateways. So it will redirecting me here, and you can see you are able to see the gateway name that we have configured over here with this account. Right now let's just select this check boxes and click on apply. We need to add data source over here now, so I'm just clicking on add data source, and first of all let's attach our credit database over here. So let me just add my data source name as credit, and data source type is SQL Server database. So let's select SQL Server. We need to provide server name and database name and authentication type. So over here, if I'm going here, this is my server name. Let's do that. My database name is credit database. So let's provide the database name, and authentication type is basic authentication. I want to go with normal SQL Server credential admin at 123 and just click on add, and connection successful. Right now let's do one thing. Go back to our workspace again that we created, create a data flow. So just click on data flow, add new tables, and now the same Power Query pop-up will open for you to select the data source. So just go to the database section and select SQL Server. Now over here, if you select, you are able to see your data gateway, right? So here also you need to provide your server name. So just copy and paste your server name and provide your database name. I want to provide database name as credit, and if you wanted to select and provide any SQL statement, you can do it over here. So this is exactly same as the get data that you are doing into your Power BI desktop. This is the same thing you are doing in Power BI service, because data flow is service only feature, right? Authentication is basic authentication, and let's click on next. And here we are. It is showing me the tables that you wanted to load here. So here I only want to load the category table, because this is the table which I wanted to have into separate data flow, because there is a possibility that in future I will make some more changes over here into my table, right? So I just wanted to load my category table. One more important thing I want to tell you here is there are lots of other use cases as well, like date table. Date table is something which is used in almost every data source. So at that time you can create a data flow for date table, and you can simply add your date table as a reference into your another data flow and load into Power BI desktop directly. So over that time it reuse that table, and you do not need to create the table operations every time inside the Power Query. So it will save lots of your step into Power Query, right? So let's just click on transform data, and let's see what screen we will get here. So you can see this is the similar Power Query Online. Every operation that you are doing here, it is identical to the same thing you are doing with Power BI desktop. So the features are really good, and over here you are able to see the different icons. Like every icon has its own meaning, and whenever you add any step it will add another additional icon for you. Right now, what do we mean by this particular icons? Let me explain you that thing as well to you. So these are the different indicators. This is the reference link that I will provide you in the description box, so you can just check it out that what do we mean by each individual icon. So this is something which is showing you that your data source is supporting folding, it is not supporting folding, might fold. So read this description for more information. I'm not going to cover each individual icon's meaning over here, but you can just go through with that. Now let's perform our ETL operation. I just wanted to remove this unwanted columns from here, so let's just remove this. I just wanted to change my column name, category ID, and this is category. Right, in future there is a possibility that more columns will added and I will add some more operations on that, right? But let me not do anything right now. And it has added two different steps over here, right? Let's just click on save and close. It is just validating our queries. Now you need to provide the name of your data flow, so I'm providing my data flow name as category data flow and just hit save. So here we are. Now the most important thing, that once your data flow is added, you need to refresh your data, right? If you forgot to refresh your data and if you use the same data flow into some other data flow, then it will not show you the data. So at that time you will confused. So make sure that once your data flow is added, you just click on refresh, right? So for that what you can do is simply go to the workspace and you are able to see the work data flow that has been created, and you can see that it is independent from the report. Now you can simply click on refresh button over here and it is refreshing your data and it is showing the appropriate date and time over here, and once it's refreshed it will show you that refresh is successful over here. Similar way, let's configure the schedule refresh. So just click on this schedule refresh icon here and it will redirecting you to this data flow section. From here, gateway selection, we already selected our gateway, and click on schedule refresh, that how much time you wanted to refresh your data source. So let's say you want to refresh your data flow 8 times in a day, so just add the appropriate timing over here. So let's say I'm just setting 3 p.m. time every day over here because I only want to have single refresh onto this one. So I'm just clicking on apply and we are good to go there, right? So this is how you can simply configure the schedule for your data flow. Now as I told you, let's add some another additional tables as well, and you can see the refresh has been completed and next refresh is also been configured over here. So hope you are good with me so far and you have created your first data flow successfully. Now in the next session what we are going to do is we will create one another data flow where we will add some another SQL Server table, and onto that data flow we will add this data flows table as a reference or as a link table, and we will see how we can perform some more computation on the link table as a compound entity. So stay tuned to my next session for the more information. Meantime, if you have any question, feel free to add your question in the comment section. If you are for the first time to my channel, make sure you hit subscribe and press the bell notification to never miss any updates from my channel. I am uploading regular content on Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agents, Teams and SharePoint every day on my channel. So make sure you hit subscribe to never miss any updates from my channel. If you are looking for any training or consultancy, here is the website. Click on that. It will redirecting you to this page. From here, navigate to the contact page and send your query to me. If you are interested to follow me on all my social media handles, just click on this link. It will redirecting you to this page. From here, you can follow me on all my social media handles. If you are interested to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, here is my Twitter account and here is my Instagram account. So do follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. I recommend everyone to follow me on my Instagram account because Instagram is the platform where I am uploading different short content related Power Platform. I am uploading different posts, reels, IGTV and so much things over here. So do follow me on Instagram. The Instagram ID is very simple, which is Power Platform Guy. Just type this ID to your search box and you are good to follow me. Also, during the weekend, we are performing some good activities on Instagram. So do follow me over there. If you are interested for audio podcast related Power Platform, here is the podcast channel. Click on that. From here, you can listen your favorite Power Platform podcast on different podcast platform like Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and much more. The podcast channel name is The Power Platform Show. So make sure that you listen on your different podcast platform. If you are interested for short video related Power Platform, here is a separate channel called Digital Dhruvin. Subscribe that channel and show your love over here as well. With this is Dhruvin signing off. See you in the next session with some amazing content. Have a great day. Goodbye.